A little bit of background to this video. The Stasi, or Ministerium für Staatssicherheit, translated into English as the Ministry for State Security, was a way of imposing the state on regular citizens. Throughout its history, it contributed to the arrest of roughly 250,000 people in East Germany. The Stasi were responsible for mass surveillance of East Germans and the imprisonment of people who spoke out against the government or tried to escape to the West. Many of the prisoners imprisoned here were there for that very reason. Okay guys, so this was a little bit of an unplanned excursion. We're visiting a Stasi prison today. You guys would have seen a similar video probably about a year back from Potsdam. Today we're in Cottbus and we're visiting another abandoned turned museum, Stasi prison. Technically it's not abandoned, it is a museum, but it's abandoned in terms of its original function. It's no longer applicable. And you can imagine coming here how intimidating this would be. It's quite a foreboding building. So we're going to go in the entrance and I'll show you more from inside. So in we go. Wow. And nobody really here. It gives you an idea of the fencing they used to keep the people in, like razor wire, double razor wire fences. Yeah, we're not going to get over that easily. There's a little bit of reservation work going. So the German Democratic Republic, the East Germany, GDR or DDR in German, and it's a memorial for the people who died trying to escape East Germany into the West. And it's a little picture of the Brandenburg Gate. On top it says, "Wir sind das Volk," we are the people, which was what the crowds were shouting when they pulled the wall down. And these are the names, I guess, of some of the victims who died trying to escape on the bricks. So this says warning mines, closed, danger to life. So that kind of says it all. So I didn't actually see this on the floor. We have a map of Eastern Germany. We are here in Cottbus, right on the border with Poland. You can see here Berlin split up into West and East. East being the controlled by a puppet state from the Russian government. The West being controlled by the British, the French, and the Americans, along obviously with the German government. But this was all East Germany. Wow, straight into the cells. Ooh. It's got a very musky smell in here. So this looks like a model of what the complex looks like. I don't think we can get into all the buildings, but you get an idea of actually how big this place was. Cottbus was one of the larger cities in Eastern Germany. So these are some of the signs around the prison. So these were some of the propaganda leaflets that were dropped by Allied forces into East Germany. If you were caught with any of these, you would be here. Right, so I'm exploring this for the first time with you. It's a courtyard. Some table tennis tables, table tennis tables, some shots, right? So this explains exactly who was imprisoned here. What is a political prisoner? You could be basically put here for listening to music from the West, from speaking out about the politicians, and you could end up in jail for that. It was a very, very harsh time. And explains a little bit more detail about the types of prisoners. These people didn't murder. These were people that tried to escape to Western Germany, jump over the wall. So it's very sad. This tells some of the stories about some of the people who were imprisoned here and their background. It's very eerie. It's quite similar to when we went to Potsdam. In that last video from the prison that we made, it was completely empty. It's the same here, with the only visitors at the moment. This is some of the uniforms which the prisoners had to wear. Okay, I'm guessing this is one of the cells we're going into. Okay, so each of these slots is telling a different story. This, to be fair, this place goes into a lot more detail about the history. If you visit the jail in Potsdam, you have an audio guide that you can follow, but this is much more visual, a lot more photographs, a lot more artifacts of the people that stayed here. Depends on your taste. So one of the original doors to one of the cells. So these are some of the handcuffs that the prisoners will be put in, and some of the weapons that the guards used. Literally a sign here that says, "Do you feel like you're being watched?" So warning, you're going to be watched. So one of the punishments that the prisoners had to do was forced labor. And in this specific jail, they produced cameras. And these are two of the original cameras. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is what the guards would have worn. So some of the standard supplies the prisoners would be given. And this is how it had to be arranged. We're going up to the next floor. So here we are going to some of the cells. It looks like this was a recreation of The Office, one of the offices. It's a recreation of what one cell would actually look like. Just how many people would be in one room is shocking. So an example of another cell again, but without the mannequins. And that would be your view. You wouldn't even have a clear view outside. So you wouldn't know exactly where you were. Very, very basic facilities, and you'll be in a room with 10 other people sharing one toilet. So this would be the aftermath of when a guard would search all the bunks, search the cell for contraband. And this would be an example of the aftermath. Everything would just be lying on the floor. There'll be no respect for human life here. So this is how the cell would have looked in the 1940s to 50s. See, just wooden bunk beds, a cupboard, very, very basic facilities where the bathroom would be shared. So please excuse the noise from the wind. Hopefully it's not too loud. So we're outside now. We're outside of the prison, and I just wanted to show you guys one of the old prison vans that were used. So we had a smaller version in Potsdam, but this is a much bigger transport truck. Can't really see too much inside. Maybe I can show you through the window. So you can see here one of the old watchtowers. So there's a lot of construction work going on there, working to preserve the building as a memorial to the people who were imprisoned here, who died here. And thank you so much for joining us here at Cottbus prison. Coming to these places is quite hard. It's quite depressing, learning about the history, the stories about these places, but it's important. If you guys want to visit here, I'll leave all the details down in the description below, and you can come and see for yourself a little bit of Germany's darker history. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, bye-bye.